And boy, oh boy, Duke taking on Texas Tech. Now, we were in Vegas at the minute that Duke got every call in the world there in the final 2 minutes against Michigan State, and they ended up winning. And then we watched Texas Tech line up, and then we watched the number flip to Texas Tech rather quickly, too, there, as they are the favorite in this one. But I don't know if everyone agrees with that, Trig. There are a lot of people who believe maybe the wrong team is favored here. Are you one of them?
Man, Joe, first of all, if Holmgren played in the SEC, someone would have already snapped him over their knee at this point. So I think someone will figure out how to be able to be physical enough to guard him. But onto this game, this matchup is a tough matchup. Texas Tech defensively is one of the probably as good as of a team that Duke will have seen this season, and you can't score inside on Texas Tech. That's just teams have had some of their lowest scoring outputs in the paint against Texas Tech this season. So Duke's going to have to shoot here and make their shots, to win this game. The only reason I'm not coming in and backing up the Brinks truck on Texas Tech is I just don't trust their offense at all. And even though Duke isn't kind of up there when you consider like top defenses, it hasn't taken like an elite defense to slow Texas Tech's offense down. So I think that's the sort of where the matchup gets difficult. Because it's Texas Tech. Duke, just with their sheer talent, can score some points. If Duke's hitting threes, Texas Tech could be in trouble. But if Duke isn't hitting from the outside, I would be shocked if they win this game. So I'm not a huge totals better, but I have to think that Duke struggles to score, because they're going to need to hit the three to score. We saw Notre Dame, which was probably as good of a matchup, a team that kind of wants to live on the perimeter. They still lost to Texas Tech. So I don't know that I want to go against either of these sides, and I'll let the other two sort of either dispute this or back this up. This feels like it could go under to me. I think Duke will have a hard time scoring. I don't see Texas Tech really lighting it up. Interested to see what the other two say about if there's any value in that, but this feels like a low-scoring game to me, though.
It does feel like the under is in play here, Matt, but are you leaning one way or the other in this matchup?
So it's going to sound funny, but like if, Texas Tech's the better team, but if you're not throwing into the handicap the fact that this is going to be an 8-on-5, like you're being naive. I mean, I'm just saying, we just saw CBS got massive ratings for the Duke-Michigan State game. They've got all sorts of packages and highlight things set up for Duke Gonzaga. Like they're already set up for the Elite Eight. So it's going to be really on Texas Tech to physically beat Duke and not allow the officials to get involved in this game. And you look, Duke is number 2 on defense with the fewest free throw attempts per field goal attempts. And if that continues, I don't know if Texas Tech's offense, which is really inconsistent, could take advantage of Duke's poor defense. The other thing they have to consider here is the odds makers know that the betting public is going to come in on Duke. They're going to see that Duke's the underdog. They're going to be like, the Blue Devils, Coach K, I've heard of that guy. Although Drew might think Coach K and Mark Adams might be about the same coaching-wise. But sorry, Drew. I love you, Drew, but I just had to throw that in there. I'm just saying Texas Tech's the better team here, but I think the officials are going to be involved. I think everybody wants Duke to move on, so Texas Tech's going to actually have to win this game and not let the officials get involved.
It's just throwing bombs here, Drew. I don't know what to say here, my man. But listen, I think Trig's onto something, too. They got to hit from the perimeter. It's the one weakness of this defense of Texas Tech. They're not going to live her in the paint or at the rim against them. So what gives here? So who do you think wins this matchup?
Joe, this is a tough one for me. I mean, by the way, mid-major Matt better hope that, the Razorbacks there in Musselman don't turn Gonzaga over and have a good coaching outcome in that one. But anyway, I do think mid-major Matt brought up a good point in terms of 8-on-5. Duke getting the calls here. I could see the NCAA wanting that Elite Eight matchup, what Duke and Gonzaga, plus the fact they've been getting calls so far. So you could see it happening again. The handicap for me, Joe, is, offense and defense. Duke, very offensively efficient here, and we get Texas Tech, depending what numbers you want to go off of, arguably the best defense in the country here. Number 1 defensive efficiency on Ken Pom. Number 10 in terms of defensive turnover percentage. If they're able to turn Duke over like they've been doing, I think the Red Raiders are the side. However, I'm not so sure they'll be able to do that because Duke, very good ball handling skills here. If Coach K and company are getting the calls here, I think Duke's the side. That's usually the side I go to. As we get into NBA playoff season, you want to be betting on the teams the NBA wants to advance. I don't think it's necessarily to that level in college basketball, but I do think there's a little something there. I want my money on who the NCAA wants to advance. And in this case, I could see Coach K kind of in his grand finale here in the tournament getting the calls. Therefore, if you make me bet this one, which I haven't yet, Joe, it would be on the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly have the talent edge, Duke, but will that translate into a win? That remains to be seen. Should be a fun one here, guys. Duke taking on Texas Tech.